Hey guys, what's going on? It is me, and we are in our first of our 8 power principles for the month. So this month of January, we are going to be talking about detox. Why are we going to be talking about detox, and why should you care? Well, basically that's the basis of where all of this stuff starts. So, you know, if you've gotten good results and your body's hit a stall now, or if your body's just not moving, you're not seeing the pounds and inches drop the way that you would like, then this is the most important place to start. So detox is huge. Now, I know, this is a word that gets thrown around a lot about, detox diets and all this stuff. And, we get the idea that we got to starve ourselves or eat nothing but vegetables or live on ice and water and things like that. And it just, that's not really how you really do a detox, at least not one that really is going to work well for you. So one of the things that we're looking at doing, there's several different areas to detox. We'll talk about 3, but we're going to start with the liver, right? So the most important thing that has to be working, the biggest and most important organ is your liver. You guys, you got to understand this, because I know a lot of you, when you're getting stuck, you're still in the mindset of thinking you have to eat less and add more working out. And I'm telling you, you'll never be able to outwork liver toxicity. You can't outwork it. You can't out-diet it. It's not a calories in versus calories out thing. I know I say it a lot, but hopefully by the end of this video, you will have a much better understanding of really what's going on, and it'll click for you in a way that will make sense. So stay tuned here. So let's talk about this liver toxicity. What might be going on here, and how this will affect the results that you're trying to get. So basically, we've got, now mind you, I just did this recording, I broadcasted this live on Periscope. This is a side note here, but I broadcasted this on Periscope. It's like my new experiment with Periscope. Live broadcasting is what Periscope is, in case you don't know. So I could save the video then and, do it live and then give it to you guys as well. And so I was doing this, and of course I'm recording it from my phone camera, and right in the middle of it I get a phone call. My wife wanted to hear the sound of my voice today, which shut off the video. So I'm broadcasting live, and people were tuning in and got rudely interrupted, which meant as well that I didn't have the option to save the video. So I get to do it all over again for you. Isn't that nice? Anyway, so back to our liver here. So basically, look at your liver as having like 200 different jobs. Imagine going to work, and you got 200 jobs you got to do every day, 200 of them, or you don't get to go home from work. Okay? That's what's going on with your liver. Your liver has all these different jobs to do, and there's like 200 some odd functions that we know about in the body that it does. But here's just some of the important ones that you'll be interested in knowing. So your liver first has, the main role it has is to detoxify your body. Anything that's toxic that's coming in will harm your body. It basically would kill us if we had too much toxins in our body, didn't detoxify them and get rid of them. That's your liver's main job. Your liver also has a role in metabolizing fat, carbohydrates as well. It also has to break down and convert hormones. So these are just some of the things that it's dealing with. Now, here's the problem. When you have too much toxicity coming in, too much toxins are coming in, your liver can only do so much at one time. It gets easily overwhelmed. So the first priority is get rid of the toxins, but depending how much is coming in, it might not be able to get rid of all of them. So all these other things that it's trying to do get put on the back burner. That means your liver's not even concerned about burning fat for you if you've got toxins coming in. Not even worried about burning fat. What it will do is it'll store fat, and it'll put it right in the fat cells until all the toxins get cleared out to where it can deal with it. The other thing is that depending on how much toxins you have coming in, that could be a problem too, because it can only deal with so much at one time. So the more toxins you have coming in, then the liver will take whatever it can't deal with, and it will also push them to be stored, guess where? In your fat cells as well. So you not only gain weight and body fat from getting, fatter, an increase in actual fat, but also an increase in stored water and toxins. And the more toxins that your body has to store in fat cells, the more water it's going to put in there as well, because water helps dilute toxins. So we get a triple whammy in the fat cells. So we just see it as gaining body fat because it all looks the same. Cellulite, right? Everything we see, the jiggles and all that stuff that we don't like. That's what goes on here. So again, the toxicity that you have to be careful of, because it's easy to think to yourself, well, I eat healthy, right? So I don't have any toxicity. Well, guess what? Maybe, maybe not, because part of the problem is that a lot of the health foods we're educated on eating that are very healthy for us, I hate to say it, but there's so much misinformation out there, and a lot of these quote-unquote experts are misinforming people left and right, partly because of where they got their information from. And don't even get me started on food guide pyramids and the government and all the food manufacturers that are driving this kind of crap and false information that's going around. So we got to make sure that we're understanding really what toxicity is and what we're putting in and if it's toxic to our body. Now, I'll tell you this, a lot of the health foods that you see in the grocery stores, particular things like frozen foods that are considered healthy, these lean cuisine things, healthy choices and all those, marketed as healthy, are some of the most toxic things you could put in your body. Things like soy products are very toxic. Conventional dairy, cheeses and yogurts and all that, very toxic stuff. There's a lot of stuff that is toxic that we might tend to think is healthy. So be very, very careful about this. Also, you've got to understand what your body digests well as well. So some foods might be considered healthy, but they might not be healthy for you, because if you eat it and you can't digest it well, you're going to just get backed up like a clogged sewer, and you're going to put on weight. Your metabolism won't go, you won't lose weight. You won't see your body change. Well, you'll see it change, but not in the way you want. It'll go the other way. So we got to be very careful. So now then, kind of the question is, well, how do we know if we're dealing with liver toxicity? I mean, you can't really see it on the outside so much, right? So there's some signs and symptoms here. Some of the common ones that I'm going to talk about in a second. But real quickly, I just want to really drive this point home, because there's a couple other important things you need to know about liver toxicity here. So again, the more toxins we deal with, the less able we are to burn fat. Also, the less able we are to convert and break down hormones and do it what we need to do. Hormones are the key thing in your body. If your hormones are not balanced out, you are going to struggle like crazy to drop the weight and lose the pounds and inches that you want. Mainly because of a couple of ones in here. There's a lot of hormones and everything, but here's one that we all know about, thyroid. So your thyroid gland produces thyroid hormone, and basically what that does is it helps keep your metabolism up. It regulates metabolism. So your thyroid gland that sits right around in your, around the throat area here, produces a thyroid hormone called T4. And then what has to happen is T4 goes to the liver and gets converted to T3. T3 is the active form of thyroid that actually has to go to the cells in your body, and that's what speeds up or regulates the metabolism, keeps it going. Here's the thing. Too much toxins in the liver doesn't have the same ability to convert T4 to T3, which basically means then you start to suppress your thyroid hormone and your metabolism slows down. This is why, you guys, it's very important to understand that this stuff is not a simple calories in versus calories out. You can't just cut calories from your diet or cut out carbohydrates or eat low fat and think that's enough to work, because if you're getting a suppressed thyroid, if your fat burning is off, you can cut calories all you want. You're still going to have the same problem going on, okay? So, and then one of the other things has to do with estrogen. One of the hormones that especially women, men deal with it. Some men deal with estrogen imbalances, definitely. But, it's particularly a dominant female hormone. But here's the problem. When estrogen levels get out of balance, because of reduced liver function, then the liver has less capacity to break down estrogen in the body. And if your estrogen levels start to get too high, you got a couple things happening. One, it inhibits thyroid hormone from working, so your thyroid again gets suppressed. One, it could get suppressed from liver toxicity because it can't convert T4 to T3, but two, because estrogen inhibits thyroid as well. Double whammy. Then you got another problem because estrogen there, when it gets imbalanced, increases weight gain through fat storage. So again, things we need to look out for, and you can't diet this stuff away. And the other thing is, more toxins in, then the less ability your liver has to metabolize things like carbohydrates. So we tend to store them as fat easier, okay? So hopefully this is making sense. This is huge, you guys, to understand, what kind of a problem this can have and what kind of an effect it'll have on your body and the results you're trying to get. So some of the signs and symptoms over here, These are just some of the most common ones. There are other ones, but all right, so I just got cut off again because I reached the maximum video size. This is just getting better and better today. But I'm determined to get this information to you guys. It is that important. All right, you guys? Yes, you can hug me and throw roses later, not now. Okay, so basically where we left off, the more of these things that you're dealing with here, the more of these symptoms you're dealing with, the more likely it is you're dealing with liver toxicity. Okay, so you've got to have a real honest assessment about where you're at here. So these are some of the things you're looking at. If you're easily stressed, on edge a lot, really irritable most of the time, this could be going on. Poor sleep. I know that, some of you are dealing with that kind of stuff. You have trouble staying asleep. You toss and turn a lot during the night. Waking up between the hours of 1 and 3 in the morning, a lot. Having difficulty going to sleep, waking up feeling like you're not rested, right? You're just kind of groggy and all that. That's one of the signs as well. Blood sugar imbalances. One of the key hallmarks of blood sugar imbalance is look in the mirror, and if you got the muffin top going on, the love handles there, that's a blood sugar imbalance. Indigestion. When you eat, do you have bloating, gas, stomach pain? Do you feel tired and lethargic and things like that? There you go, indigestion. Decreased thyroid and weight gain, like I was talking about up here, right? Thyroid, there's other ways to tell as well. But hypothyroidism, if you've ever gotten diagnosed with a hypothyroid or got put on medication, here's one of the big things that the test results don't reveal, and the doctors probably aren't telling you, is that they'll just give you thyroid hormone and assume you need more thyroid hormone. But here's the problem, that if you could have enough thyroid hormone getting produced in your body, but if you're not having enough T3, it doesn't mean your body's not making it. It means that your liver's not converting T4 to T3. So if you just put thyroid medication in you, you're not going to see your symptoms improve a whole lot. So that's one of the things as well. If you've ever taken thyroid medication and things have gotten better and you feel a whole lot better and things are working better, then okay, great, maybe that'll help. But just food for thought on that. Brain fog, poor memory. Oh, and also another word on thyroid medication too. If you detox the liver, a lot of times you get off the medication, which at least when you can get off the medication, you don't have to worry about side effects down the road that start to happen from that. Anyway, brain fog, poor memory, those are all things kind of not clear in thought, feeling kind of groggy, can't focus right. PMS is another hallmarker. If you get real, intense PMS symptoms and a lot of pain, your body's actually not meant to be feeling that way. So a lot of times that's traced back into the liver toxicity. And also we have things like chronic fatigue that can happen as well. So again, the more of these you deal with, more likely it is you're dealing with a problem with the liver. And the more important it is to detox your liver, because I'm telling you, it's the fastest and simplest way to get your body moving in the direction you want and get you feeling your best too as well, without feeling like, you got to spend every waking hour in the gym or diet your way to, which doesn't work anyway, doing those kinds of things. So how do we deal with it then? Well, the biggest thing, and I hammer this home time and time again, but you guys really, you got to get into the ER8 nutrition manual. So in the ER8 manual, one of the things that those guidelines and principles in that manual will help you do is detox your liver. That's just one of the things that it does. And believe me, there's a lot of things that have to happen. You guys are going to be learning a lot in the upcoming months. A lot of this stuff is going to it's going to blow your mind and open your eyes with what you're going to learn here. So this is just the beginning. So you've got to trust me, though, that I know what I'm doing when I put that manual out. That's just not something that I just thought off the top of my head. This is over 15 and a half years of research and trial and error into what works and what doesn't. And, with that, I really found something that is very, very powerful, but also is very maintainable as well. So you won't find any, yo-yo dieting weird things in there or things that you can't maintain in there. So, get into that manual. And again, you've got to be willing to work these principles. If you want a result, you got to be willing to pull out all the stops. And also, you got to be willing to admit to yourself when, hey, things aren't working. Maybe there's something that I'm not doing all that I could be doing to get these results I want. So you got to weigh it out. If you want the result, then you got to be willing to do the work that you need to do and cover all the bases you need to get that result, right? You can't shortcut it, you guys. If you could, believe me, I wouldn't have even put that manual out. I would just be telling you like a lot of those experts out there will just tell you, just work out more, right? Just eat less, move more, just work out more days a week. You got to go harder, and, it just doesn't work that way, all right? So that's the key point that I want to get into with you guys. So make sure the one thing that you do is that you really dive into that manual and understand that the more of this stuff that you're dealing with, then the less leeway that you have to allow for things like CRAP, right? The acronym I made for completely refined artificial and processed foods, okay? That doesn't mean that you can never enjoy eating, chocolate or eating out again or pizza or ice cream or whatever it is. It just means that until you get this kind of straightened out, that you got to be more onto that manual and more onto detoxing your liver, before you kind of loosen up a little bit more, okay? So do what you need to do and get this stuff straightened out, and it doesn't take long, you guys. I've seen liver detoxes happen within like 21, 28 days, like big turnarounds happen, and people's bodies changing, and energy levels and everything. Sleep patterns change, stress levels change, all of that stuff, you guys, and it doesn't take long. So for this month of January, if that's the one thing that you focus on is getting into that manual, really working those principles, and really doing a good job with it. Okay, you guys. So in the meantime, if you have any questions, post them here into our community. Ask me in person or whatever. But feel free to post things up in here. Chances are that if you're dealing with something, you may or may not want to talk about it or whatever. And I get that. That's fine. But understand too that chances are that somebody else is dealing with the same things too. And I don't want any of you to feel like you can't ask something out in the open, for fear of, maybe it sounds like a dumb question, or, you feel like maybe, you kind of feel weird about it or whatever. If something's really private, you can talk to me in private or message me or something like that. That's cool. But I want you guys to also be supporting each other, and we're all a team here. And anything that we talk about in here, know that it doesn't leave here. This is just between us, our team, our YPT community here, and I take that very seriously with you guys, okay? So that being said, if you have questions or comments, or even things that are working for you or whatever, things that you've done in the manual, things like that will help out other people, then let's get together, let's rally around, let's start putting some things out in here, and really kickstart this month off, this year, in a big way. This is the year for amazing breakthroughs with you guys. I really want to see that that happens for you, and I'm going to do everything that I can. You guys know that I will do everything I can in my power to help you achieve what you're here to achieve and get you from where you are to where you want to go. As long as you're willing to do the work, you put in the sweat equity, I'll lead you down the path and give you the tools you need as best I can, okay? Right, you guys, that's it for this week's video. So work on that, stay tuned, and I'll be talking to you guys soon again next week. That's it, take care.